think we need to talk about Leeds being champions because they were, to my mind, the worst English champions that I can remember ever. It's a number of other things happened, and it looked as if early 90s Arsenal were going to dominate. And they won the league in 91. And there was talk of, and they got to the FA Cup semi-final. I can't remember who beat them in that FA Cup semi-final, but there you go.
Never mind.
But there was talk of an Arsenal dynasty under George Graham. And then back into Europe, the English teams are now back into Europe. They run up against Benfica, and Benfica knocked them out. And this is a blow. It's a blow to Arsenal. So they have to go back and rethink. Liverpool are entering a trough, real trough. We did the Crystal Palace against Liverpool semi-final from the FA Cup in 1990, which I clearly see as the end of the great Liverpool. They collapse after that, and they're not the same, and they're a real trough afterwards. Tottenham, who look like they might have something, have financially imploded, so they've gone down a little bit. United aren't quite there. They are missing a vital part of the jigsaw that Leeds United are about to give them. And so the Leeds team, I saw them a few times in the run-in, and I thought, in the stadium, I remember them winning at Tottenham late on because of Eric Cantona. He came off the bench, and you could see, wow, he really had it. And he was perfect for English football at that time, because English football at that time was incredibly stupid. It was a game that had suffered from the isolation. So there wasn't a lot of thinking going on in English football. And it was a lot of like two lines of four, and then the two in the 4-4-2. And Cantona, he just stood in between those two lines. He had space to play. It's the reason that Cantona was never as successful with United in Europe, because when they marked with a little bit more depth, they protected that space. Then he had someone marking him. But he was made for English football, and he was made for United. So I saw him win the game at Tottenham. And I remember, I think it was Ray Wilkins at Queen's Park Rangers, absolutely tearing Leeds apart. They lost something like 4-1. And I looked at this team and I thought, well, the midfield's all right, but I think they're terrible as a championship team. I think they were the worst English champions, and they were also the product of. I'm not a Howard Wilkinson fan. I don't. He was the Leeds coach, and the fact that he gave away Cantona effectively, or his club, he allowed Cantona to leave, is just astonishing. But he wasn't on his own. There was almost like a consensus amongst those in English football at the time that he's a fanny merchant, is Cantona. He's a fanny merchant. The consensus when he went to United was he's not going to do it. I remember at the time remember that 606 phone in on the BBC at the time. The fellow who was doing it was David Mellor, the Tory MP.
Yes, you're right.
And I remember David Mellor. I remember listening to this clearly. Before Cantona played for United, I remember David Mellor saying, you know what, I think Cantona is going to be a sensation at United. And I was thinking, look where English football has got itself. Where David Mellor, and I think it's permissible in these circumstances, David fucking Mellor could call this thing far better than many of the people who were inside English football, because there was this culture of mediocrity, I think, and there was this lack of thought, because football is all about exchange of ideas, and English football, because of the exclusion from European competitions, it had fallen into Graham Taylorism, Howard Wilkinsonism, and so I thought Leeds were absolutely there for the taking. So the outcome of these games, it may have been a surprise to some. It wasn't really a surprise to me.